Hello, so first of all we install the nodes, and for doing this we go to Edit, Preferences, then on Add Node, Install, and then if I go here, for example, you can see that I have all the zip downloaded, and so I can download the version 0.2. After installing them, and if you search for them, and you see the crystallographic nodes, and so this is the version which is installed. Then you use them as all the nodes, so you go to geometry nodes. For example, I select the cube, new, and you should find here all the tools that you need. So first of all, we have isometric crystal system. So if we click on it, it will create all the basic isometric forms that we can download. Then also there are generators for non-isometric crystal systems. So for example, if we take this one, you can see here, 1 second that I need to, okay. So this is the base. We can change the resolution, for example, and then we can create a prism here, or we create the pyramid and the pyramid. And if you click on both of them, it will, and just apply, you will have the deep pyramid. Also, you can change the height of the pyramid, and these all works the same, so you don't have any problem from that. Then after applying, of course, for example, like this, we can switch to edit mode and just modify it whatever we need. So for example, now we create just a basic crystal that we need. Okay, so something like this. Then after you have your basic form, so and you choose it on your isometric or not, we can go, for example, and now we create another cube. So I go to collection, add mesh cube, and I create another geometric node. And this time what I want to do is to apply, for example, a grow pattern. So let's apply, for example, a granular, and I click here. So the first thing that you need to do is, for example, to choose and to add an object. And so I can have just the first one that I created, so this one, the cube that I created. And then I go here to geometry. This is the grain to instance, and then we can go to the pattern, and you see that since I choose a cube, so I have everything there. Then we can add a random grain, and so random also rotation. So with this one you can change the scale and you can change the rotation, and you need to do then now another thing that you need is to realize the instances. I didn't include this one in order not to have, let's say, since you can choose what you do with instances, and so it's just taken out. Then we have also the translation and the rotation of our pattern. So a basic scale, for example, is if I want to increase the cube also. And another thing that you have, you can just change the density, for example, and also the seed of your pattern, and you can do this one for all the nodes that you have. Finally, I have included a few utilities that I find can be helpful when you are creating illustration of crystals. And so the utility that you will find are, let's see, so the first of all is just HKL. If you need to create a specific face, and so if you label them, you see that, for example, this is the plane, and if I also apply a bit of coloring, so this is the plane 1 2 3, and if you change 1 1, for example, and 0, you will have here the other one. So how this can be used, for example, because you can just increase the scale. I need to get rid of the label. And then another thing that you can do, I included also an extrude. You can choose which face you would like to extrude, and so in this case we have only 2 faces, and so and the other thing that you can do here is just 1 second. labels. Yes. Another thing that you can do here is that you have the extrude. You can just increase the offset of the scale, and for example using this one just as a boolean in order to get rid of it. There is also a multiplication factor that you can add if you need, just to multiply all the index. For example, this one it's 550 since you multiplied for 5. Then you can apply just a boolean. Then we have other things which are, I hope, useful, are the brevet. So brevet create reticles. So if we have, for example, something like 1, 1, 1, and 5, and you have a geometry, a brevet geometry, and you see here that this is you can create with the one that you need. So 1BC, and so you have points. So you can instance your whatever you need here. You can instance in your points. Another thing is that we have a mirror. So a mirror just replicates whatever we have. So for example, one thing that we can do here is to take an object, and we can take, for example, the deltoid dodecahedron. We can instance, for example, instance here, instance on points. So we take this one as points. We have geometric, we create the instances, and so we instance this one. And what we have is that if we want to create, for example, a mirror of everything that we have here, we can just go again to tools, mirror. Okay, and if I click here, I will have the mirror on the X. In this case we don't have Y and we don't have Z, since we are shifted from the origin. Finally, other two things that are quite useful and are the elongation thickness. Yeah, and so the elongation thickness just change these parameters on the grain that you're using. So if we take this one, and now I just want to see the geometry of one grain, and you see that I want to change the elongation here, or the thickness of my crystal, everything will go according. One thing also about the brevet that I would like to show you, and that I forget, it was that if you go here to points, and if you go here to instance, you see that, and of course we can change the elongation. Now we put everything 1 and 1 and 1. Okay, if we increase, and so ABC I will put 1 1 1 1 here. So if we increase the sides, also accordingly you will have also the change on the number of nodes that you have. So I think this is everything as an introduction of what you can do with nodes, and then if I can also, and I think I will prepare also some other examples. You will also find an included rendering scene to see how you can apply and which kind of material you can use for the rendering nodes.